Hello everybody, welcome back to, well, not the Fate of Acheron specifically, but the, Acheron, the campaign, where I am making currently, at the moment, I am currently designing and making a map. You guys notice I have not exactly been hiding the fact that I'm doing maps, which is the thing. So feel free to ask me any questions. I am here today about map making. I am gonna let you guys know about map making. I am just gonna let you guys know I get a hysterical amount of locked in when I work on maps. So if there is something you guys have a question about, feel free to ask. Other than that. Other than that, it is genuinely super nice to be. It is genuinely super nice to be working on this again. So, hope you guys are having a lovely day today, and feel free to ask me any questions. So today you guys might be asking me what I'm doing. I'm currently creating the city of Dragonguard in my D&D campaign, which most of you guys are not going to know. Let me open up Foundry really quick and then start playing some music, because I might as well use the no copyright playlist on Foundry. Excellent. This shall do. But yes, that is what Dragonguard is going to be. So what I'm currently thinking about, this is sort of my vision right now that I have basically before I make anything. I typically have a vision in my mind. Sort of I imagine a lot of artists do this, especially, I imagine a lot of artists do this, where you basically put together when you put together an image, you think about what it's going to look like beforehand, and then you try to make it. I don't actually know if artists are able to make a 100% rendition of what is in their minds. Hell, I know I can't do it. But the idea of this city, and I'm going to give you guys an idea, is that there is a inner castle or an inner moat. So there's an inner fortress, and then there's the outer fortress, right? That is what's going to be the thing. There's an inner fortress and outer fortress. And there's going to be a castle that leads into the inner fortress with cliffs around it that has sort of been elevated using magic, essentially. And it goes high up. And I was thinking it could be a pulley system or something that leads up to the top. We could make it floating mountains. I don't know. If I do floating mountains, we also have to have the restriction of, why is it floating? So I'm probably not going to do a floating mountain. As much as it's cool to have the city called Dragonguard, it isn't essentially a perfect system. So what I'm currently thinking that could be very cool as an idea, if you guys must know, is that I think it would be a cool idea to sort of make, we start with the layering, and then we work our way inwards. I think I do that with most of the maps I did when I did with Lysantrum. Now that Lysantrum is sort of on fire and doesn't exist anymore, I can't use the city of Lysantrum anymore until my friend decides to say that hey, we rebuild it, or the war with the dwarves and them is over. Let's just imagine that there's a massive war. Just imagine that there's a massive war going on down there. And, nothing is going to stop that war right now. And at the moment, there's a lot going on, in case you will be knowing. Now, the main thing that I am going to do is that we're going to choose the street flooring. And then this is very important because this map is set in the middle of a jungle. So imagine in the middle of Mirkwood, or in the middle, for example, in Lord of the Rings, there is Lothlorien, which is a city settled in the forest. Same thing with Mirkwood. So this is going to be the same sort of thing. But like, we don't really have a lot of forest cities in real life. I imagine we do have like one or two. Like, it would not surprise me if we did. Oh, gotta have a statue of Alexander. There is for sure gonna be some statues of some dragon gods. Like, I imagine there's gonna be a statue of Gordon. In case none of you know, it is the statue of Gordon the Dragon God. Gordon the Dragon God is my version of just a genuine, like, god of dragons. Imagine like Tiamat in D&D and stuff like that. Also, in case somebody is wondering what this is the new monster manual. I've been reading this religiously. Because I actually think this book is kind of decent. I'm not going to get into too much. And yes, I've taken out a lot of my tabs. Thank you guys for noticing. I have 15 tabs open right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I have 13 tabs open right now. So like, I'm actually doing pretty good with myself right now. I guess you could cloud these, but these are just stuff that I bought my friend, like a birthday gift and stuff like that. Let me know if you guys want to see me working on... I'm currently working on a wizard staff for my brother. Like, I'm currently working on a wizard staff for my brother's birthday. If anybody wants to see that, feel free to ask. I doubt any one of you guys want to see that, so I'm not going to actually force you guys to watch that, but it is your decision regardless. I'm currently working on that. But, where was I? Alright, we should start with the bottom. I am currently thinking to myself, also, anybody of my friends can join this and chat with me while I'm currently making the map. It is just, also, let me just fix it so that, like, it says that on the stream, status. Okay, making maps and streaming. There we go. So, like, if anybody really wanted to, they could join me and we could chat about it. But yeah, no, I am looking forward to working on this. I've been wanting to make Dragonguard for years. Because if you guys don't know this, Dragonguard is the only city in the region I haven't done that basically is set in that area of the world. Like, literally, that's not a joke. It is the only map I have not done. Hold on, let me prove it to you guys. So, like, let me show my main world map really quick. Jesus Christ, this is taking so long. I apologize, everybody. Man, I was so happy when I got done with that. Also, starting next week, I'm going to be working on a world map for... I don't know how long I'm going to be working on this world map for. I'm expecting 3 weeks to be the length of this world map creation. I'm starting on it on Monday. I'm going to work on it on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we're going to see how long it's going to take. But I'm going to be working on a world map. So, like, let me... Okay, so, in case you guys don't know... So, let me... Oh. In case you guys don't know, I have developed Lysantrum, Malta, Krina... I have not developed any of the southern cities, but these 3 cities, I have developed. Like, Lysantrum is so big, it's like several hundred sorry. It's like, I think the customary is like 50 kilometers approximately. Also, this is very loud. Let me turn on the volume a little bit. Alright. Yeah, and basically I have not made Dragonguard yet. I need to make Dragon's Reach at some point, because Dragon's Reach is also a very cool map to be making, and I'm looking forward to making that one eventually. I don't know when I'm gonna make that one, but it's gonna be fun. Anyway, so yeah, no, I have to definitively create a lot of the stuff I do, and it's looking quite exciting. Because if I have developed Krina and Malta, I don't really need to worry about those 2 cities as all. And I highly doubt that my party is going to go further south. And Nera is not that complicated to create, and I can make that in less than 8 hours, right? The main thing I'm thinking about the city of Dragonguard is that either they have scale-like, like stones, is what I'm currently thinking. It's either scale-like stones or it is something else that basically takes the entire city, like, to a whole nother thing that I'm currently thinking to myself. Now, I could be using a new map maker, by the way, but I don't know what the legality is, and I'm already used to this map maker, and I'm still learning that one. I want to see if I could develop a map and then publish it on there, but I haven't been able to do that yet, so it's gonna be there. Dude, I am currently looking at things. You're gonna need to give me a bit before I can get started. Oh yeah, this is just hills. I mean, this kind of looks cool. I much more prefer this in the other map maker. Wait. Forest floor light. Forest floor dark. Yeah, that's gonna be perfect for later on. I mean, I might do this one because this is the nicer look. But, like, yeah. It is... so, what I'm currently thinking is... So, let me get started on the actual, like, project. We do not need elven tiles. Elven tiles are a bit too much. These looks like dwarven tiles to me. We could do textile, but that looks so awkward. That's like my #1 issue that I have with like anything incarnate-wise. Also, this is supposed to be like a blanket upon the map, essentially, like a shadow. Like, the opacity is supposed to be turned down. We could do gray. I think ash and gray works. Yeah. But then again, we don't want to make it super depressing. Fuck it. We're gonna go with ash and gray, because it works. Then, what I think we do is that I think... Okay, so... Okay, let me just get the brush size correctly, and then let's just start working on it from this angle. Don't worry, there's gonna be a lot of forests, and there's gonna be a lot of stuff. This is gonna be working itself out. The main thing we want to get started on, however, is if I go here and I do cliff, you see, this is what we're going to start working on. So, we're going to have to shrink these, obviously. But the main idea is to sort of... We build out the cliff first, because that gives me the ability to fuck around and do stuff afterwards. The main thing I want to try to do is to see if I can... hold on a minute. I wanna double check something. I wanna make sure that like I have it at the right quality length, because the last thing I want is for the quality to be really poorly. So like just give me a moment. Because this is the highest fucking... No, it was not 4K. Okay, let me just make it a 4K. Okay, there we go. Now I can start on. There we go. I'm back. And then now, you see, now I can do cliff. We don't want to make it too small. If we make it too small, it feels not as much as a city. We want to make it big. We want to make it grand if we get the chance to. You know what I mean? That's the primary thing. You see? And now that I have it at higher quality, this stuff is going to make it look very nice. What I'm currently thinking to myself is that... Oh, shit, it does not have random stamps on, so, like, let me just pick a random one there. And then let's do this. And then... Now everything should come along quite nicely. Also, this should not be the case. I just realized. No, that's this way. And we do this as like a double cliff. Now, in case you guys don't know, I am planning on doing something similar to Krina. I don't know if I've ever shown you guys Krina. Let me just So the idea is just to give you guys a rough idea about how I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you guys the map itself. And I can show you guys Krina, and then you guys can make your own informal decision from there, I suppose. Let me just see if I can find it first before I make any rash decisions. I can't find it. Is it not on this folder? Huh. That's interesting. I suppose not. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, then it looks like we're just gonna have to go on without it. Alright, so what I'm thinking is that we create this small outcropping, and then we make this into the castle area. We don't have to do like a super amount of like just massiveness, and we just do this as it looks like now. So and then we build this out. We do. One of the things you're gonna always have a problem with, this is like a great bit of advice if you guys are interested in listening to like my sage advice when it comes to D&D. The biggest thing I could possibly recommend about when you make a map in D&D is that actually making a map in D&D is like very complicated a lot of times. And when you make a map, don't worry about the first thing that you're gonna create in the first like hour or 2 hours. Worry about the final product, and then focus on that. Like pour your heart into that, essentially. Because map making is all about like perspective, and like you don't actually have to worry about the wider image. It never typically matters. Also, for some reason, it didn't do random ones for this one. The main thing I would really recommend is worrying more about the main image.
Who are you talking to?
Oh. Well?
Hello.
Oh,
hello.
Hello, everybody. I am currently streaming. Well.
Good evening.
And Raven is here. That's crazy. I was just about to get on and play some games with Naya, but she didn't. She wasn't on Discord yet, and I saw you in here, and I was like, "Oh, let's see what he's doing."
That's what he's doing.
I'm streaming.
Yeah, I figured. Yeah, hello, stream.
He's talking to himself like normal. What do you mean?
Okay.
Yeah, as you do. Honestly, I understand. Eric and I were YouTubers around the same time for the same amount of time. Like, you know, like it's, you know, I get it.
Yeah, we have been doing this for a long ass time. I did not expect you. I have not expected you for a while, Will. Like, goddamn, man. Hi, man.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be in class, or I was supposed to be in class, and then both of my classes for today canceled.
Interesting.
Both of my professors. I woke up. I was getting ready for school, and then I see a message on my for my school we have something called Canvas, which is like a university-wide, like, it's for like scheduling, for classes, for managing like textbooks and shit like that. It's got all this stuff. So I see like a message from each of them on Canvas saying that they have canceled for various reasons. In fact, my psychology teacher didn't even explain why. My English teacher was like a family emergency, but psych teacher was like, Cass is canceled for today. Have a good weekend. No explanation. Just like, okay.
One of them will be vegan as well.
It's like, all right. Like, I don't know. It just seems so weird that, because like those classes have nothing to do with each other, right? So and there were right. It just happened to be, and we're the only two classes I have for Friday. I have 3 classes every other day of the week, but I only have 2 on Friday. Yeah, anyways. So it's just silly. So anyways, yes, I'm on early.
I mean, it is very nice to see you. I have in case anybody is interested, I was talking about Will's map. I'm not currently making your map. I'm currently making a map that I need to design for obvious reasons. But like, I am currently developing a city known as Dragonguard, and essentially the main thing is to like finish that map before Sunday, and then we'll see what happens during the session. Oh yeah, guys, here's the map. So like the idea is, let me just explain it so that like everybody.
Pull up your stream so I can see.
So Krina itself is sort of like the idea that we're going for, except for a moat. I kind of want like a cliff face to be the idea for the actual hill itself, which is the thing. And we kind of want Dragon's Guard to be on a cliff itself, like a massive, like, sort of mountain face, essentially, if that makes sense. Dragonguard is sort of like a massive mountainous and hilly, not mountainous, but like super hilly area where the main capital's like actual thing is in there. Not only that, but like the bottom of Dragonguard, let me also see if I can show you guys that, is near a great lake, which is, so I want...
Can you zoom out?
I can, yes. Yes.
Yeah, just so I and potentially the viewers can see a...
Yeah, the idea is to do a castle...
I have a statue of Alexander.
Oh, no. We're not actually planning on having that. That is not something we're gonna do.
Hector going, hey yo, hand them over.
I'm talking you to working.
The main thing is...
Naya's calling me. Okay, I'll keep watching the stream, but I'm gonna get to playing with my fiance, so I'll see you guys later.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Adios.
Okay, so here's the main problem with Dragonguard that we're gonna have. Also, welcome to the show, Bazzy, as always.
I've been here.
I know you've been here for a while. Okay, so
I'm watching, yeah.
Drakelek is or Draker or something like that. Lake, right? Is why is it zooming in so randomly? That was weird. Don't know why it zoomed in. I didn't click on anything. So the idea here is, it's probably because okay, this is the weirdest experience I've had. Why is, I don't know why it keeps doing this. It's so good. It doesn't really matter. The main point is that, the main point of this is that to the north, like this entire area here is sort of going to be a lake area, and it's sort of going to go into there, while Krina is the city of the three prongs, or like the city of the three rivers, right, or the three sisters as it is known. It is Dragonguard is a city that is like not landlocked. It has the ability, it has a giant lake which they use to fish from. It's actually a very nice thing. So like a lot of this here is gonna be primarily a lot of this is primarily going to be a lake. So that's what that is gonna lead into, and then we're gonna have several compartments that sort of go down here. So like we're gonna start deleting stuff like this, for example. And then we're going to shrink it and make it go downwards. How much work, in case anybody's wondering, I'm going to work some of this today, not all of it. I'm going to try to see if I can finish as much as possible today. But, like, I will probably go to bed at, like, a reasonable time because tomorrow I have, like, an 8-kilometer hike that I got to do. So, like, that's, like, other than that, I kind of want to be in bed at like a reasonable time. I know it sounds absolutely fucking silly, but you know, it is what it is. The main thing we're gonna do is that I'm gonna just start making the water right now because it doesn't really matter. I can't really do anything with the water. The only thing I could do in Malta is that I could basically make the Great Lake has essentially a giant's corpse, a Jotun's corpse, which is kilometers tall. None of you may remember that one, but it is completely fine. You know, I'm not gonna lynch anybody for not remembering something. Also, I like that this one is called, let me rename this one water, and then rename this one, land. Yeah. And then, essentially, all we do is that we make this here, we make some sand here, I think. We could also just make it rocky terrain, like make it like actual like rocky terrain. I think I kind of want to make most of Dragonguard to Drakelek be sort of in like a uncomfortable like area. Hold on, I have a ruler right now to like determine how big this lake is. Everything on my map, by the way, is so big. Like in comparison to Tolkien stuff, like. Not saying Tolkien stuff is not big. They're massive, a lot of them. But, like, I don't have a specific ruler, so I can't exactly tell you how big this map is. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's 2,500 miles. Plus minus in kilometers. I think that's, like, 5,000, 4,000 kilometers. Somewhere around there. 4,000, 5,000 kilometers, I think, approximately. Like, if you were to ask me, like a question, I would probably answer something akin to that. Yeah. So, here's the thing. I think we... Oh, yeah, sorry. I need to go and turn off one of my lights. I'll be right back. Not the studio light that I have in my face, but, like... But, like, the light that I'm currently using. Kind of need to deal with that, you know. All right. So, here's what I'm thinking, everybody. And you guys can tell me if you guys agree or disagree. Honestly, it doesn't really matter. The point is to get this thing done. And that is gonna be that we delete the 4 quadrants. For example, what that means is that, like, we delete this part, we delete this part, and this part, and then in the center where the castle is going to be, what we can do is that, or what I think would be a wise decision, is that we don't have to have it be walled. I think it would be smart to have it be walled. It doesn't make any sense, but we could also just make it a castle, like a fortified building, right? Like the entire thing is just fortified, right? That is the idea. But essentially, the main idea of this is that, like, the second plateau is where the soldiers are at. It is the military. Like, it's a military installation, essentially. Like, only the military is allowed to be on that level, unless it's, like, people of the stuff. There is 15,000 to 20,000 people there. That basically is part of the military. That is, like, designed to hold this city, right? Which is the thing. Which is a pretty moderate force for the time. I want to be fair. It's a pretty good force of Dragonborns, considering the fact that they can all essentially breathe fire, which is very cool. I mean, one of my favorite things ever is, if you guys know about the old monster manual, you guys know that the breathing of fire is super extravagant. So what I think is that for the outside, I think that there should be a dock, because that makes sense, right? Having a dock makes a shit ton of sense. Okay, let me quickly just do a quick... So this lake is 18 kilometers across, right? Okay. That's 18 kilometers of shit that I have to worry about. Mostly joking, people. And there's a giant hill. So, like, I want to add elevation to the city. I want to add some hills. I want to add some elevation. Like in a city in Norway, I want to kind of do, like, the same thing where we, like, elevation going in a circle around until it gets down to the lake. So, like, we add elevation per level, right? Because cities made with elevation in mind is not a silly thing. They do exist in, you know, in real life. And this needs to be essentially a jungle. So what I'm thinking is that we make an absolute ludicrous space for people, right? We make massive apartment. We make massive buildings, and we do massive settlements and stuff like that. If I don't finish this by Sunday, which is a possibility, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it ain't. Then I don't finish it by Sunday. It's not that big of a deal. I say like unironically. I think that because of the main road heads south. There's two roads. There's the northern road and southern road that leads in and out of Dragonguard, right? What I think would be a wise decision is to have the main road go south. And then you guys may ask me like the question like, why are you deleting this? Completely reasonable. But we don't actually need those areas because those areas we're going to make to have like a mountainous sloping going downwards to like where it becomes like a hilled area until it becomes, essentially what we want it to be, which is exactly what we kind of want to do. So the main thing we're going to do is that we are going to start working on this. And then now comes the fun part. We do this, and it never does. I'm not the biggest fan of this newest incarnate thing, where they decide to do some silly things. And then we do this, and then this is the opposite way. And then I think we just do this. And then we leave it with this. Yeah. There we go. Now we have it. So here's what I'm thinking. We make this the essential way down. And then we create some causeways and we create some... So this is going to be really cool because essentially it looks like it was made intentionally by spellcasters back in the day, which is exactly what it was. This entire city was made usage by like the shamans of the day. People that were basically like major spellcasters. There's a lot of lore in my D&D world. How this place came into be was based around ancient spellcasters, which was like excellent and awesome. A lot of them made the city to be like a safe harbor from half dragons, which is the closest things to monsters. And there's always been more half dragons. There's been Dragonborn because of the reason they have a very easy time repopulating, while Dragonborn people are based around strength. It's sad, but it is a reality. And the half-dragons have a thing where they start becoming way more stronger than they actually need to be. And it sucks for everybody involved. Every single half-dragon you will ever have is genuinely going to hate. Every single half-dragon you're ever going to... Every single half-dragon you're ever going to meet in, not D&D, but like in my campaign, are either monsters or they are, I almost said autocrats. I don't think that's the right thing to call them, though. I don't think they're all autocrats. But they're very, I don't even know what an autocrat is. I don't know why I'm mentioning autocrats. Hey, Bassy, why am I mentioning autocrats?
Oh.
I
wasn't paying attention to what you're saying.
Matt, why do you hear them?
Like, it's because I'm sitting here playing Spider-Man.
God damn it, man.
You think I pay attention? I'm like Aiden, I do pay attention during session.
I mean, to be fair, you are the only motherfucker. I pretend like you're the only person I give a shit, but like, that's not true. I think that we have several players now that actually give a fuck, so...
We do.
Especially since we got in Nexo, you know, it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I think Nexo does. Golden tries, but like his mother. But
I really like Aiden, and I don't blame him for what happened last session. It just sucks. You know,
I blame him a little bit, like not 100, but still.
It's like, I can't really blame the guy for, you know. Yeah, I don't blame him for it. It's not his fault. I mean, saying it's not his fault is also a lie, but it isn't directly. I can't directly blame him for it, because you know we all have issues. You know, I don't want people to make fun of my fucking illness for no reason, you know. So why the fuck should I, you know, be a dick to him for the factor that he has like an attention issue? That's not really his problem. Doesn't feel fair is the point I'm trying to make. But no, I like to ask my players what they think after sessions. I like my players' opinions. My players' opinions are kind of cool. Especially when I make a mistake. I make mistakes all the time.
He's so drunk that he can't even remember what he already said.
I do remember most of that session.
Yeah, but not well drunk. Afterwards, you may be. But when you keep saying the same thing 15 times.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not trying. No, I'm probably not going to go drunk like that in a while. I wanted to act a character. I think I did that well.
Yeah, congratulations. You acted a character and couldn't remember what was going on.
Sounds about right. Dad and I just wanted to have a silly session for once, especially considering the fact that one of my...
For one more sessions are silly.
Yeah, but like, when you have a player that is saying that, like, it feels like combat has become sort of non-stop, you know, I kind of lose my shit.
Yeah, that's Gordon. And it also is just not even true.
I know.
We have 1 to 3. There are so many people. Like, if he was playing XP, which, I mean, it makes sense we're not, but he would say we aren't having enough combat. Because we would be level 2.
Also, I want to make this abundantly clear. I understand why DMs...
Yeah, I understand why, but still.
I understand why DMs don't indulge in
Yeah, because it's the, oh, well, I'm gonna go kill this entire village because they were slightly mean to me and I need the XP.
You know what the worst thing is, chat? He's not wrong. He is not wrong.
Or, you know, the, I can solo the Tarask because I can fly. Okay, the old Tarask.
Oh, yeah, I know. Don't worry. I always know you're not talking...
No, it's not me. It's the, like, level 1 for...
Aarakocra?
Level 1 Aarakocra or is it Owlin? I don't remember. Cleric that can just solo
both of them. Both of them.
Yeah.
The main...
Like, what do you mean?
I mean, the main thing, the Owlin, I mean, if he could grapple, that's the only thing, but, like, it comes down to initiative.
Sure, but, like, it still has to be able to grab them, so if they just fly away first, then they can't do shit.
What is happening? I'll save the changes. But yeah, no, I like working on maps, in case somebody's wondering. It's definitively a part of this D&D nightmare that is very pleasant, like, unironically. It is the best part of D&D, for sure. That's not even a debate. What is going on? Why are you being a bitch? Hold on, let me relaunch Incarnate. It's being a little complicated. In case you guys are wondering, Incarnate is a great software. Sucks sometimes, though. Oh, okay, so you did save the things that I did. Okay, thank you, Incarnate. thank you for wasting my fucking time. Jesus Christ. No. Don't delete that one. Okay. Sorry about that. In case somebody's wondering, I'm not losing my shit. I'm just very annoyed that it does that sometimes. Yeah. I think we do this building here. And I think we go down to this, and then I think we just do this and this, and then just build out a gate. Yeah, there's a super extravagant dwarven gate. I think we just do one of the dwarven gates because I think that's sick as hell. Yeah, that's awesome. Because it looks like golden, right? And a lot of, I know. Golden? What? Sorry.
Gate now?
Huh?
What does a Greek gate look like?
A Greek gate?
You said it looked like golden.
I think they look wooden a lot of the times, don't they? Oh, no.
Golden. You know, coal.
Yeah, no, a gate would, in medieval times in Greece, would look wooden, basically, yeah. Man, I am super relaxed. I haven't worked enough on maps this week. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I have not done it at all. And I don't know if I'm gonna spend as much time on Dragonguard, let alone be able to finish Dragonguard by the end of the week. Also, in case somebody is wondering, there is a simpler way of doing this. I am just being a contrarian, and I'm making this way more harder for myself than I need to. Just letting you guys know, this is not the optimal way to be making a map. In fact, I would even recommend not doing it the way I do it. Because if you do it the way that I do it, because people will use other tools, and I fundamentally believe that some of the other tools that is available is better. Like, for example, this castle wall. No. For example, the main thing is that people like to use this tool. And I can see why. It's a good tool. One of the things I think I gotta do is that I think I gotta make it smaller in order to make it work. Yeah, that works. Maybe a little bigger. Make it to 20, perhaps. Also, if you guys are wondering, am I listening to Skyrim music? I don't actually know what this is. I have no idea what this is. Is this Skyrim? Feels like Skyrim. Alright, I made a mistake. That looks good. Doesn't look bad at all. Now, when the guy decided to make this as a tool, God bless him. I don't know if he made it with this in mind. The main thing I wish that he did was like primarily like a tool specifically for the type of shit. Also, why is it blurry? That's what I don't understand. It shouldn't be blurry. Does it have like a texture file or something that makes it blurry? I don't know. I'm praying and hoping that this is gonna look better on the final execution, which is the reason to do any of this, by the way. Now, you guys are probably asking me, is this faster than actually just using the other one? Yes, this is way faster. Do I think it is better? Definitively it is better, but it depends on who you ask. Incarnate is a hell of a tool, by the way. If any one of you guys are planning on using it, I recommend it. It is a solid map maker tool.
And it's cheap.
I mean, you're not wrong. It is cheap. It is cheaper than most tools I've ever used. In case somebody is wondering, it is $25 a year. There is a couple of Steam map models that works even better. But, like, I've seen people that sell this one online, and I've seen that there's been a lot of code of conducts that you have to follow on Steam. Or, like, that, like, people have done DMCA stuff, essentially, where they, like, when you buy the game, you write a contract that you can't use these maps. Right, that's a couple of the map making tools. It is why I don't sell battle maps. I may make battle maps, but I do not sell them. I refuse to. And if they do get sold to me, which none of them have, this is not a joke, none of them have been sold to me, then, you know, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. I don't feel like I should take any of those because I feel dirty taking that money. And that is my actual take. Feel dirty. Anyway, so we are getting along with this famously. Now, in case you guys are wondering, okay, so like, what is with the towers? Are you going to make more towers? Are you going to make less towers? I'm probably going to change the towers, and you guys might ask me, like, how do you do that? Well, you just put another tower on top of the tower. It's very easy. It's very efficient. You get the work done in 2 seconds. We're going to finish the castle today. That is going to be the primary thing today, and then tomorrow we will do 90% of the rest, and then we will finish the map tomorrow. That is what we're going to do tomorrow. That is like everything about it tomorrow is just to finish the map. And I don't know if anything is going to happen tomorrow. I don't know. There might be that I might need to be gone later in the evening, but I'm going to make sure to wake up early so I can get my walk in early and then start streaming immediately when I'm done doing the stuff. And then just finish this map. I don't think that we have to make this map. I want to make this map. There's a difference. Also, you guys could ask me the question, like, why don't I just do Theater of the Mind? Well, I do a lot of the time. It's, for example, with, but...
Interiors.
But I like an illusion. I do. I like the ability for my players to be able to see. Okay, I have a problem with Theater of the Mind. I don't have a problem with the concept of it. I think Theater of the Mind is fantastic. I love it. It's great, right? But I have a problem with it because everything that I envision using Theater of the Mind is always too big. Everything I envision is either too big or it doesn't meet...
It kind of has a lack of ability to explain things correctly.
Huh?
Your explanations are usually very weird, so we have no idea what the fuck he's talking about.
That's also a fair thing to say. I have genuine, like, speaking problems as well. Of course, it's not as bad as it used to be. I used to stutter when I first was learning English, which was the worst thing ever. But it is not that bad anymore. So it is what it is. I'm not the biggest fan of a lot of those stuff. All right. But yeah, no, most people, but no, yeah, no, a lot of people say that like I'm all over the place a lot of the time, which is sucks. It blows ass. And I have apologized to my players a lot, which is a thing I do a lot. But yeah, if you guys have a take, feel free to tell me. But no, most players, the good thing is that I started scripting stuff a couple of years ago. So now things have gotten significantly better than what it used to be. Still not fantastic, but, you know, it does work. You know? You guys can make good stuff and still be, like, happy with stuff. My main thing that I'm very curious about with my players, but like one of the big, also D&D advice, free D&D advice is never ever think your D&D players owe you anything, because they don't. Trust me, the amount of people.
That's incorrect. They do owe you that they pay just a little bit of attention.
If that was true.
But that is what they owe. That is technically the thing, like, brother. It would be the, oh, well, it's combat time. It's not combat. I'm gonna leave now. Oh, you have to text me, it's my turn. I'll then return, do my attacks, and then leave again. Bruh. Also, I am actually gonna leave now because it's food time, so see ya. I may come back, I may not. We'll fucking find out.
Yeah, man, I'll see ya. The main thing that I recommend is mostly think about the story that you want to tell as a DM. And yes, you are the one that's telling the story. The main thing that you're going to have, though, is that like the players are the ones that are sort of going down and doing the story for you. They are the ones that are essentially living this world. You are simply imagine a game dev. And you are essentially a game dev when you make D&D content. It's just that simple, right? The main thing that I want to sit down and I want to actually start developing more consistently is more maps, which is what I'm doing next week. I'm gonna be working on D&D maps the entirety of next week, and I'm super excited to get started on that. Like literally, I'm like hyped as hell to begin working on some of the D&D content for next week. Very, very excited. Tomorrow is going to be like most of the work. Also, I like to have most of my Fridays off to do nothing, because it's the only day I don't work out. It's the only day I don't do stuff, which is why if I'm doing a lot of work today, if I do any work at all, it is going to be like very minimalistic. Like, that's just the truth, right? I'm probably not going to do like a whole lot of work today. Like, as you guys are wondering, I'm probably going to finish the main castle area, and that is all I'm going to do today, I reckon. Because I don't need to do anything else. Speaking of, has anybody watched any good movies recently? Man, I recently watched the movie I Swear. What a genius of a film. Jesus Christ, what a good film. Yeah, things get very nice when you start working on stuff like this. It always works out in a certain way. Like, whenever you sit down and you start, like, actually, like, functionally working out, like, what you want to do during the maps, it is a hell of a thing. Because, you know, maps are cool as hell. The cool thing about maps is that, like, a lot of maps in history was, like, not 100% like perfect. If you go back in history, you will find out that there's like a lot of maps that was like made flawed. There was like a lot of things that were flawed about them, which I think is like so fascinating, don't you? I think it's fascinating. Yeah. But yeah, no, I've been thinking about... Yeah. Oh yeah, I should probably save. Alright, let's save. With Incarnate is as a tool, I recommend saving all the time. If you use anything else, such as Dragon Map Maker on like stuff, that's not for city maps, that's for primarily battle maps. And I would really recommend doing some battle map researching and figuring out stuff. And honestly, I just recommend working on some of the things and just figuring out what your style is, what you like. Yeah. Okay. For the castle, I think it would be a wise decision is castle. Alright. Oh, that's fortifications, though. Beautiful, beautiful fortifications. Very dwarven, though. Very, very dwarven. And these are also dwarven, I imagine. Yeah, they're also dwarven, yeah. Oh, this is a giant furnace. Jesus. That is what I'm looking for, ultimately. Wait, what is this? Ooh. That is kind of nice. I mean, I was thinking about doing this one. It would be super sick to do this. Like, just, do this and then scale this one up. You know? It'd be sick as hell to do this one. But, like, this one comes with its own walls, and it's a template more than an actual thing. Which is why I recommend not actually using that one. I recommend using something else. Hey, Luke! Nice to see you, man. Alright. I think that what we do is that instead of that, we do some rich-ass buildings, and then we work our way outward, is what I think. I think we can do some pretty-ass buildings. We can for this. Giant statues. I do like myself some giant statues, people. This has got to be like at the entrance of Angkor. Angkor, that is going to be a city I'm not looking forward to do. Angkor, in my mind, is such a massive city underground that I'm not looking forward to doing that city at all. Not because there's anything wrong with the city, and I already have like an idea for what to do. But like, I'm not looking forward to it. Because I'm expecting that one to take me like 10 to 15 hours to make. And that one is probably going to be like a lot more work than it needs to be. Red is a hell of a color. We could do red. You know, that is probably the only thing I would say to the dev of Foundry is that it would be very nice to have some castle buildings. You know? Because, like, if you guys don't know, castles in real life are very extravagant. Like, they're very big in the way that they work. Beautiful. We could do spire buildings, but they're mainly elven, so I don't know about that. In case you guys are wondering, I am trying to figure this out, which is the main issue. I could draw an inspiration for something I did prior. That always works for me. So maybe. What about Athea? What did I do there? Right, the giant pyramid. Right. Can't have a giant pyramid here. I'll tell you that much. Krina. What did I do for Krina? I did 2 round towers. I did several round towers and a main hall that is connected. Okay, that's how we do it. Alright, so we changed the coloration of the towers to... let's change the coloration to blue. And then we make the castle blue. In case you guys are wondering, this is one of the best ways to do anything D&D related. We do this as the main hall. We do this as the... not the main hall, but we do this as the... Now, to be fair, I could do this a couple of times, which is certainly an idea. Which I don't know if that's gonna function. So what I think is that we lean forward, and yes, these buildings can be absolutely huge. I actually wonder if there's something else that may work better. Sorry about the sound. I'm eating some snacks, you know. That could work. Oh. Floral relief. Oh. Sorry. Ooh. Oh, we gotta. I think having rough towers is something Dragonborn and their culture can definitively get behind. That works. Okay, let's snap them to the grid and then figure it out from there. There we go. Yeah, that works. Right. Don't worry, we're gonna get rid of this building. Because I was thinking we could do something with the dwarven buildings. Because it doesn't matter where you get your contractor from. A friend of mine have recommended that I move over to another map maker. I don't know if I'm ready to move over to something else yet. Like I said earlier. I'm repeating myself. God damn it. I keep doing this. Don't get me wrong. I like having a chat and I like talking to myself, but I mostly think about what to do next. I might actually need to get myself something to drink. Not alcohol, by the way, just some caffeine of some kind. I know, this late in the evening. This late? Are you planning on getting coffee this late? I know. I'm not exactly a spitting image of healthiness. I really like the way that that capital came out, though. So I kind of want to see if we can replicate the way that came in. So instead of doing this over-the-top framework, what if we go with something more personal? You know what? We do the spires. Spires that reach for the sky. We might as well. The only other people that have done this is the elves. I'm a little stuck on how to get this done, though. So I'm not... Also, sorry if I can ever seem to pick. It is an occupational hazard. We don't ever use the dark buildings. Actually, this kind of will work. God damn it. Why is it always the things that intrigue me the most that always gets me? Alright. Okay. Let's make these different. Yeah. And then flip. Wait, no. Yes. Oh, I see. Ah, I see. Montreux. So, first of all, we need to flip you. Oh, flip you back and do this. No. You need to be this way, and you need to be this way. And then you, good sir, need to be flipped this way. Yes. Alright. Here's what I'm thinking. We change the coloration slightly on these four. Right? And we make these be lighter in coloration. I think that works. I think it does. It's, I don't know, we keep the darkness to it. Sort of like a hidden shadow of which exists. Honestly, either or could work. Also, I do recognize that we could just do this again, but I don't really want to do that right now. It doesn't feel right. But it makes sense that the Dragonborn would have their own style, which is kind of like what I like to do in the first place. You know, I kind of like doing their own, like, I kind of like doing their own thing, you know? It's kind of cool. Yeah, doing their own thing to fix reality. Also, the pink probably ain't gonna... purple, sorry, not pink. Sorry, I'm a little colorblind. Alright, it is what it is. I don't know why density is an option. Can't really change the colors anymore. Why is that? Layer option. It's weird. Why is it that I can't change the color anymore? That's my biggest intrigue. I'm very interested in that. What? Why? And it is not like... It's not like Foundry, or sorry, Incarnate didn't let us do it beforehand. No, they did. They for sure did. They loved giving us the option to do shit like this. Which is why I'm weirded out by it. That is extremely awkward. This may not work, by the way. Letting you guys know, this may or may not work. This may look like a hodgepodge of buildings. That is a rundown building. I don't know. Oh, not what I meant to do. Can you stop selecting everything on the map? See, there's a reason why I do this first, is because this is the hardest part of the job. That's the main reason why I do this. I know I said earlier that one of the reasons why I do this is because it is easier to start out with this. Well, clearly I forgot my own craft, because it is not as easy as I fucking give myself credit for. I'm trying to figure out how this would work. How do we get there? Like, other than copying a literal, like, frame-by-frame reference point from, like, another map that I created at one point, I don't really want to do that. I don't want to do that. So, here's what I'm thinking. We do the red, because red represents royalty, but, like, we can't do blue. Fuck it, let's do blue. We might as well, right? So, let's make these bigger. And I kind of want to go a little bit over the top with this. And then do that. Do that. In case you guys are wondering, yes, this is the best way to do this. And then what I think we do is that this is going to be the outer halls. In case you guys are wondering what that means, is that, like, there be like a central room right here that sort of connects these two buildings. We do. This is where the king sits. This is where the rest of the stuff does. And then we have a garden in the oh my god, that works. That works so well. Yeah, I like that. That has a certain finesse to it. Yes. And then what we do is that we do 3. I'm starting to have my vision become reality, people. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. I think we have it. I think we actually have it. These trees are way too big. Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. We do this. And then... Now you see. Now we're talking. Now we don't need this entire interior to be green, but we need a couple of it. And then we make the greenery come out over here and over here, and that way we can make even more greenery. We can, and make it look a little bit more prettier, because the king's garden needs to look pretty. That's just a reality of the case, you know. And then we could put like a garrison inside of here, is what I'm thinking. I don't know if a garrison is a good idea, but like I kind of like the idea of separating a military like fortification and the king's castle. Any takes? Is anybody there that has like a take they can give me? Now would be the time. I am more than inclined to add this into the map if that is the case. Also, we don't need to add farmland. to this map. I want to make this abundantly clear. We do not need to add farmland. We imply that there are farmlands in the countryside. This is a capital city. Like, we claim that there are, like, within, like, a couple of kilometers of the city, there's farmland. We don't need the farmland to be inside of the city. That doesn't make any sense, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a couple of cities that would definitively have farmland right on the, outside of it. Not always. There's a dependent on the city. But if somebody has a take, feel free to, like, drop it my way. I'm more than willing to listen to what you have to say. Also, there is a chance that I'm going to work on this when I go offline as well. Sorry if a lot of you guys are invested in the actual making of the map and that you guys want to watch every single step of it. I do apologize about that, but, like, it ain't always that simple. Now, what I think we may do is that we may make this into the garden of the king, right? And then the rest is done by the military structure of the Darkstone, right? So we can do, what I think would be a really cool idea would be like an arena. What we could do is not an arena, but like what we could do is that we could add like I don't know, a wizard's tower for like for the Grand Inquisitor, or like or the Grand like for like the spellcasters that used to live here and stuff like that. Now, why are the spellcasters away from the city? Because they are a little bit more different than everybody else. And we do this to basically signify that some of them live here. And then, yeah, we do this. Yeah, that makes sense. Why do the wizards live in towers, you guys may ask? These are big towers, and they are more than just towers. They are, I think that, like, these are, like, meant to be, like, the fortified towers that basically functions. Also, I don't know how defensible a tower is, because, like, you imagine taking out something that is very tall would be quite easy. I don't know. Towers is something that I don't actually know that much about in medieval history. Like, if you ask me, like, a question about, like, hey, Eric, how is a tower defendable? I mean, being high up makes sense, but, like, I would imagine that, like, wouldn't there be a danger of them coming or bringing them down? Isn't that, like, a thing that could happen? Couldn't you bring down a tower? Because, like, a tower is so big, it's so large. Wouldn't it be easy to dismantle them? Isn't that a thing? It's like, you know, if there's something I could have the History of Everything podcast guys ask him the question about, or like Zach, that is like a thing I would actually ask them, because I'm that curious about that subject, you know? It is what it is. I kind of want to know what he would say about that. You know what I think we do? I think we add a little battle disc where, which is sort of an arena. And then, for the rest of this, we add some form of grassland around the arena, right? And this is the Great Ring. This is where several of the prior kings have been trained in, like, the art of combat. This makes sense. And it's sort of like a ritualistic location. So there's like a massive tree undergrowth right like circling it. Sort of like a, yeah, I like that. That is a certain reality. I love that. All right, and then what we do is that for the last part, I think that we can add something more extravagant. Maybe not a tower. Maybe not that. Maybe something like a building of some kind that houses somebody. Maybe a guest house. I think a guest house would be cool. It would be a very interesting idea, nevertheless. I think what we do is we make a giant guest house. and we make a couple of them. We do. We make a couple of guest houses that exist, and then we go from there. And we can make these like kingly houses that are like not that big, but they are sort of like in the situation where we just make these sort of in a situation. Now, you guys may ask me the question like, Eric, why are you making them up here? Well, it is a cool thing to have a bunch of... this is, you know, where people come to live, you know, and they have, like, nice places to essentially live and stuff like that. And then what I think we do is that for the rest of this, I think we do this. I have other ideas, by the way, for what to do. But, like, the primary thing is to make these look nice for whoever else would live here. Or, like, live here for a certain amount of time, right? This is not, like... But, like, this could also be, like, a maid building. These could also be, like, other buildings such as that. And these have nice infrastructure around them. You know, it's just nice. And there we go. And then what we do is that we do this. And then we do this, 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 this. And then we do this. We do. Yep. Yep. And then there you go. Now we have not only a housing system, but now we also have the capabilities of... oh, shit. That is the... Sorry, that's the wrong coloration right there. But yeah, there you go. Now we have the stone. Now we have the shadow. Now that looks the way that it's supposed to look. Now we get to the meat of the situation. Now, you see, now that we have finished this... Now, this does not look that extravagant. It does not look that pretty. It doesn't need to look pretty, is the main thing. This is the king's castle. This is where the king lives. It is... we might change the tiles at the end. It really depends on how we want to go on about it. Honestly, it does not matter, is the thing. Right? The main thing is to work on this and just finish it, is the thing I'm thinking. I am tempted to make some caffeine, but it is 7 o'clock. I should not do it. Instead, I'm going to eat these. I might make myself some bread later, depending on how I feel. Alright, now we come into fortified buildings. Now, we go to fortified buildings, and this is the main military compound. This is where every single one of the Dragonborn not only fight, this is where they train, this is where their heartland is, this is like the military, this is where the military trains their best soldiers, their weakest soldiers, everything that you can imagine, right? This is gonna be fun, because now you see, now I'm currently looking at Dragonguard, right? And also, that's way too big. Hold on. How big is these buildings? Oh, they are not big at all. Yeah, makes sense. Do they have any sort of forests in this town? No, they don't. Alright. Also, these are several-story buildings. That's the idea of these fortified structures, to be several stories tall. Okay, that is a very bad design that I just did there. Okay. I'm gonna be working on this for the rest of the night. In case some of you guys are wondering, no, do not stress. This is not that much stressful. I am okay. This is going to take the entire night, and I do recognize that, so better get to work. Now, you guys could ask me the question, like, is there an easier way of doing this? Depends on what you mean easier. That's, like, gonna be, like, the main thing. Also, here's where the main road is gonna be. It really depends on what you mean when you say easier, because there are ways to make things simpler. Easier is not the solution that I would say. Map making can be hard, and that is like the main issue you're gonna have with it, is that like map making is a massive time thing, and you take a lot of time to make maps. And I have 3 days during my week where I just make maps. Or like, not just make maps, sorry, work on D&D. I shouldn't say just make maps, because I don't just make maps on those days. But I do mostly just Dungeons and Dragons on those days. And I understand that like a lot of people would not have the sanity to do that shit. And I get that. And I'm not gonna sit here and be like, hey, I'm special or something. No. It's because I have the sanity to do D&D. Actual take I have. I also don't want to take for granted the fact that I'm insanely lucky to be living in the country that I'm living in, which is like always great. But yeah. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me any of the questions you guys have. Also, in case somebody is wondering, is it gonna look this bad quality when the map is done? No. Right now, Incarna has a little bit of a problem with like fidelity issues, but I can easily upcast this map to 8K when it's done, making it look a lot more prettier than what it's looking right now. It's probably looking ass right now. In fact, that would not shock me at all if that was the case. If that is what you believed. Because it does look kind of ass right now, which is why I'm saying that, like, yeah, that's fair. Typically, I take a half an hour to an hour break around... Okay, so I might go for another hour, and then I might take like a half an hour to an hour break, and then just put myself on be right back, and then just mute myself, and then just unmute myself after that hour. You know, not because there's anything wrong or anything, but I'm going to be watching some copyright stuff, aka meaning that like I'm going to be watching a TV series, and I kind of want to be relaxing and watching a TV series. You know what I mean? And I kind of don't want to stress myself out. So, like, what I'm probably going to do is that I'm probably going to call it a break in, like, an hour or two. Or, sorry, in, like, a half an hour in an hour time. And then take a break. Because your sanity truly needs breaks. Trust me when I say that. It is not an over-exaggeration to say that, like, people need their breaks. I need my break. Hey, almost halfway. Oh yeah, 30 minutes. In 30 minutes, I've gone on for 2 hours. There we go. You know, sometimes you guys just need to have the dedication to just work on a map. Sometimes I have to just have the dedication to decide to do map making, because not you guys. I don't work enough on maps. I need to work more on them. I say as the last time I worked on maps, it was a lot more stressful than what I'm giving myself out now. Yep. We want to make this absolutely massive if we can, by the way. That's why we're doing it this way, because we want to make sure that like it comes across that like thousands of military personnel live here or work here. Also, in case you guys are wondering, Eric, is this how you do the rest of the map? No. No, I create large clusters and then I put together maps afterwards. That's what I typically do when I work on the rest. This is such an important part. This is the military. The military is important to do, and I kind of want to make sure that the military looks coherent and sort of squished. That's what you want to do with the military a lot, is that you want to absolutely make them feel absolutely like tight as fuck in the military, or like military buildings. The main thing you want to do is that like a lot of the buildings when you're making like other D&D maps is that you want to find a flare essentially for it. Maps are really just an extension of what you can imagine, let alone do. Also, you guys would probably ask me the question, Eric, why don't you just stream yourself doing the copyrightable stuff? And then, you know, as funny as that would be, no. I don't really want to deal with that, you know? It is the, you know, it is what it is. I am curious if I want to take a break in 7 minutes and then come back in an hour, because that way I can make myself something to eat. I've already eaten something, by the way, just making sure you guys know. It's just that I'm wondering if I should make myself something more to eat. You know what I mean? That be the question. That be the question. That be the question. Ha fly. But yeah, no, I don't have the talent that all the other DMs do to do the to describe stuff. I don't have that talent. I don't have that talent. Not that my descriptions are bad or anything, it's just that, like, I just don't have the talent to describe things. I want to get at least halfway. I want to get at least halfway before I actually take a break, you know? You guys know what I mean? I kind of want to get like halfway done and then actually get started on other shit. You know what I mean? When I get started on other shit, but like take a break before I take a break. I kind of want to get halfway. I really want to reach at least this spot before I take a break. I don't want to do anything. I want to just do that and then we can take a break. Which is the thing. And then tomorrow, for most of the thing, I am going to just be working on map making for the entire day. That means that, like, I'm not even gonna chat to my friends tomorrow, which is very sad, but it is true, you know? I'm not gonna do that much shit. And then, when it gets to Monday, I reckon I'm gonna do some more stuff, you know? And, that's gonna be it. Also, somebody of you guys could totally tell me that, like, Eric, this is not how ancient militaries are. This is a fantasy, mate. Don't fucking worry, I know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think that, like, if the people of, in real world were to see my castles, or, like, the idea of my castles, they'd probably be like, oh my god, this is so impractical. I would already imagine it. Man, I wish. It'd be so cool. You know, making D&D is my life. It is now or never. Sorry, bad joke. Well, not joke, but yeah. I think I gotta look at Lysantrum and just check how that map is going. I ain't gonna live forever. I just wanna live my inner life. This my life. Dun 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 dun. Oh yeah, we're making good progress. Okay, guys, we're gonna call it for a break now, and then I will be back in a half an hour, and then we'll continue. And then we are going to finish the top of this, and then we're gonna start doing the rest. Also, please don't worry about me tomorrow. I promise you, I'm gonna have a great time doing this, and making maps is literally a dream come true for me. I love it. Also, I can't wait to make a world map. A world map is this, by the way. If you guys know what Lord of the Rings is, you guys know this map. And yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna put you guys on to be right back, and then I am literally gonna be right back. Well, in an hour, or like in a half an hour, approximately. I know I wanted to be going for like an hour and 38 minutes, but like I kind of want to take a little break and then come back. I don't want to drive myself insane. So like, I'll see you guys at 9. Yep, there we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the stream. Sorry if I've been gone for like a while. I was watching my show and, you know, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, relaxing. Yeah, glad you guys are doing good. Oh, please don't be loud. All right. So we now get started on some more stuff. Now, I'm not going to be working for very much longer. I mean, I reckon I'm going to be done with this in 20 to 30 minutes, and then I literally am probably just going to quit it there. Now, you guys might ask me the question, like, Eric, why did you bother doing a pause in the stream if you're just going to be going on for 30 minutes more? Well, it's my stream. I do what I want. No, mostly it's just I really want to take a break sometimes, you know, and it's important to take breaks. And I think that is a thing that I do myself like quite much of a justice, is that I take enough breaks. I think I'm actually quite healthy with the amount of breaks I take. So we do this, then we do this. Give it a ride, give it a fire. Yeah, I know it's not exactly what I'd call very metal what is currently going on, but it is nice to be listening to some stuff. I might message some people throughout this, because there is a friend of mine that I told that I'm streaming, and he may or may not be interested in watching. Who knows? I don't know. But it is very nice to see that there are some people that like watching the stream. So, you know, for whatever it is worth. Tomorrow, like I said, we're going to be working on this for the entire day. Which is the nice thing. And, like, the factor that 20% of the map, or 30% of the map is water, it's super easy for me to work around that, you know? Like, I don't actually have to do that much work in comparison to what I need to sometimes. It's very nice. I can work on the military stuff, like, in a lot more of a conjugate, coherent way, essentially. Man, this makes me want to play Mass Effect again. Me and a bunch of friends of mine are planning on starting to stream, oh sorry, not stream, but play, stuff. Like I said, next week, I am starting to stream, like, I'm gonna try to see if I can stream more than once a week, if I get the chance to. That's gonna be a thing. And like Bassie said, I'm not exactly the best explainer when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons, you know. But I like to relax, you know. So it's very nice to have you guys. If there is anything that is happening, I'm glad that you guys are around, if at all. Oh. Sorry, that's the wrong thing. I was gonna send somebody the stream view. Oh no, this is still playing. Hey, there we go, yeah. Stream is playing. And then I just go in here. Hold on, let me do F11. Interesting. than what I think we... Oh yeah. The best advice I could give to anybody is don't be afraid to take breaks. Always remember to not work yourself to death. You know? Oh, might as well send this to my friend. Alright, I'm getting somewhere. That's nice to know. Oh yeah, that looks really good. I imagine it's gonna look even better when it's done. Oh. Alright, almost done. Alright, last stretch, gentlemen. Last stretch. Should've bought more snacks, man. I probably will buy more snacks by tomorrow, by the way, in case somebody is wondering. Hello! Thank you for keeping me entertained while dealing with Oh! Man root! Bloody hell! That sounds actually horrible, man. Are you good? Damn. Don't typically meet a lot of people that deals with that sort of shit. Yep. Holy shit! Way louder than I thought it would be. It always puts everything at like such a retarded loud level whenever I do anything. Yeah, I was gonna ask the same thing, Nexa. What the fuck? Fucking god, here I am, just trying to work on my map, and then all of a sudden I see that comment, you know? It's fucking crazy. I'm just saying, man. Fucking nuts. Fucking insanity. Also, that would not shock me if you told me that, like, that is, like, one of my mates. Would not shock me whatsoever. Sounds like something my mate would say, honestly. I don't think I could do that one. Let me... I'm gonna do this. Yeah, that's good. And then... I definitively think I'm getting somewhere. Alright, after this, we're gonna do like a late stage sort of like idea, and then we're gonna leave it there. I don't think there's a lot more else I can do today. Also, in case somebody's wondering, why am I doing this like super duper fucking late? Because I kind of like to do this stuff late. It is sort of like where my internal clock is. I used to work out to like 3 to 4 a.m. in the morning a lot of the time back when I was a bit younger. And that was my D&D schedule for a long fucking time. Essentially. I think that is the military complex done. Alright, let's compare notes. Right now, this does not look like a lot. In fact, I would even argue this does not look good right now. When this is done, I will debate whether or not I will change the background instead of this depressing dark color. What I might do is something different. What I think I'm gonna do is that I think I'm gonna make the roads darkened to make it sort of fit better. But other than that, the map is actually looking kind of great. Kind of like it. The main thing I want to do is to make the map be bigger than what it seems. Like, this is the capital, this is like the main city. This is like where the main shit is at. And then what I want to try to do tomorrow is to try to see if I can make elevation fit with the map structure. I don't know how to do that though. Why is it always so loud? I'm gonna put it at 10% period now. But like, what I'm thinking right now is to try to see if I can figure out the elevation thing. I know there is better map tools and map making things that will let you do this stuff a lot more easier. I do know that. Like, do elevation easier, but I kind of like the challenge, you know? Kind of like the challenge. It may also just not straight up be possible. Like, hold on. Cities on hills. And then we just look up images on that. And then you basically have these things that exist, you know? And this is sort of like what I'm thinking. What we could do is that... Actually, I kind of dig that, actually. What if we have... There be like a really terraced hill that like slopes downward. And like... They have to have stuff on like an even ground. So they literally set it up so that like... Yeah! Yeah, I like that! That's a certain charm to it. Yeah! That's a lot more work for me! But fuck yeah, I want to do that. That sounds super cool. We just make this entire city be placed on a mountain or terraced hill. And then we just make, like, it slope downwards. That's sick as hell. It's awesome. Makes it a really hard city to take. In case you do not know, or am not that, like, yeah. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to try to make something completely unique to this. I genuinely believe what we do is that we either make hills that go downwards or we make cliffs that go downwards. We're going to really discuss this later on, but I really want to see how I feel about it. Which is the thing. Yes. Now, I want to get back to you guys tomorrow and finish this map. But tomorrow is going to be really... Like, I don't know if you guys notice, but what is going to happen tomorrow is going to be really cool. What I think I might do is that I think, like, you see where these, like, dead zones are at? I think I might make this, like, a terrace onto itself and then just have there be grass around this hill. Yeah, also grass and trees. And, like, that is part of the jungle thing, is that That is gonna look so pretty. When it's done, it looks like a circle of trees. Fuck yeah! That's awesome! Fuck yeah, we're doing that. I'm doing that. I made up my mind. That is so cool, we're doing that. I'm not even joking. That is exactly what we're doing. Alright. Guys, this is where I'm ending the stream. I will be back tomorrow earlier during the day because I kind of have to get on as early as like 1 or 2 o'clock. So I'm going to try to see if I can get some early sleep today. And by early sleep, I mean wake up at 8 a.m., do my walk, do my workout, and then shower, and then get on and then stream for the entire day. Like, for like 8 to 10 hours at least. With like a 2-hour break in there, right? I want to try to make sure that I'm back before like 12, if I get the option. I really want to see if I can go to sleep like at a reasonable time. I think in 2 hours from now I'm going to go to bed. And then the entirety of tomorrow is just going to be me streaming and try to make this terraced hill like an actual idea. So like, what I think I do is that we just make this a terraced hill that slopes downward. And I think it's going to look sick. Just wait and see tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You guys have a good day. And we'll see how this terraced hill gets together. Have a good night, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. Good night.